Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. It was 511 of you 2 weeks ago. There's 681. Thank you so much for coming on board. I want to celebrate the fact that you're here. Thank you so much for the likes and all the comments that you guys had left. I know you left quite a few of them down there. Thank you so much for doing just that. There's a lot of people online that's trying to teach trading, and I want to tell you whether or not it's even worth listening to it. If they're trying to help you, but the advice is canceling out your help, go ahead and stop listening to them, even if it's me. I want to say that to you. Your time is important. The trader is taught to believe that the market is random. It is not. I want to go ahead and make sure I stress that to you. You can pause the video and read this if you would like. You will receive this with the indicator suite along with these two other handouts here. This is how you would approach any kind of information. So there's functions on how to retain information. Really important that you get that. So if the author writes a book, okay, from the title until the last remarks, they're going to make mention of what it's all about. And that's why it's important to find the trend on the board. You want to let the market mentor you. Majority is the principle that I'm searching for in the chart. Now, here's your daily. All right, there's just two indicators on this chart. There's actually another one associated with this. We'll take a look at it on another time frame. But the text comes in no sooner the bar closes, and then it gives you a zone. It gives you a zone that tells you, hey, the next bar may not close outside of this zone. It's dynamic and adjusts to the market's activity. There's a text that came here. It kind of rotated over. And then, of course, we had a text on yesterday's close, and then they're laying it down. They kind of reached down near the bottom of the zone, and they're coming off that low. That is your daily. Now, in the last video, I had talked to you guys about, and I'm not going to do a lot of it here, but there's the process of how we move in life, and here's another process of how the market moves in life. The thing that's different is this: they create the outcome and the function to ensure that the outcome will happen. So whenever we have something on our minds, we have the end associated with it, and that's why we need the trend. And so we'll know how far it will go. Now, once it gets there, it's just like us when we have the center of the trend or the cost of the thought, the COT. Once we get there, typically we'll turn around and evaluate whether or not we want to proceed further in that direction of our, after having achieved our goal. Really important that you understand that. So the market is providing you direction, distance, and duration whenever this shows up. Now, the thing that's questionable is the duration because you're kind of unaware of what that is. You're trying to time, if you can, your exit and your entry, but it's present. I want to have you know the invaluable is down here and they have every intent on fulfilling the goal. You can kind of look in front of you. I don't have to look hindsight to know where the market can potentially cycle. I want to tell you that it's all in front of you. So the center of the scale is where they're currently located. All right. And of course, the lower part of the scale, you can kind of see they hit that and took off to the upside. Now, when it comes to the majority rule, because this is what we're looking for in the chart, let me say this before I continue. I'm not a YouTube personality. I want to say that to you. I know a lot of you have come on board. I used to run a company online and all the social platforms. I got rid of it, all right, years ago. I'm coming back to give away information. I want to help as many as I possibly can at no cost. I do have an indicator suite, and I'm gonna go over some of the tools while we're looking at this information. But I said it in the last video. I'm gonna say it again. You don't need them. All right. But if you want additional signals or something to help time you into it, I'm gonna give you a chance to obtain that as well. Just want to say that to you. I'm not a YouTube person now. I'm not one of these little kids online trying to, sway you with some regurgitated information from some other trader. I'm not that. All right. I want to make sure that you understand that. So majority rule, you can Google it. The principle that the greater number should exercise greater power. This is what it looks like. It's only three ways it's going to show up. So we have the bigger wick, we have the smaller wick, we have the smaller body that needs to fit inside the bigger body at least twice. All right, so you see they're cycling. I don't have to look left in order to know that that will happen. Now, if this is not there, although I find it very strange for that not to be there, you're looking for this. Can we get the mid above this high? Can we get the mid to fall below that low? Once that happens, the live bar that's jumping up and down, we want it to pull down into that threshold and then pop to the upside. The live bar, as it's moving up and down, we want it to pull into that threshold and then pop to the downsides. Really just that simple. I want to make sure that I explain trading to you in ways that you can understand, that you can retain. There's the trend and how it should work. All right. There's the trend and how it should work. All right. So you can count your way to success if you can just count to 10. It's really simple. All right. Now, Let me show you some charts with some tools on it. Now, I just went over increase. I just went over the majority, and that's on this chart. Now, there's a couple indicators up here. Increase. There's the no touch, no close. So we're not getting the mid to touch the high, or let's say the mid to touch the low. Really just that simple. There's two indicators right here. There's three on the chart, but there's two that I'm showing you where the stop can be at. So the stop will be behind the IN or the colored bars. All right, it's really just that simple. Let's take a look at 930 real quick before it drops. Let's just kind of take a look up here. All right. So yeah, so we had increase here, it went the distance of that. We had the increase here in the color bar, it went the distance of that. We had the increase in color bar here, it went the distance of that. Go for what's reasonable. Now remember what I told you in the last video. I'll say it here again. If it shows up and it does not work, I want you to go for what's reasonable. So it went that far. It came in here and it didn't want to go. So what I want you to do. Okay. Now, keep in mind, you need your trend and all of that too. You need your trend. So if you want to wait till the trend show up, that's fine. But it's saying that it's going to go this far if it's not going to continue to the upside. All right. So, and there's the indicators coming into this bottom. All of the stuff that I'm showing you, indicators and all of that, are going to be located in the indicator suite. Should you obtain the indicator suite? For those of you who have already obtained the indicator suite and you are seeing something that may not be in the purchase that you had made some time ago, there's a couple updates that I did. Just use that link and download the information. It's really just that simple. This box is fully customizable, so you can take the box away as far as the outline of it, or you can just leave it there. The text you can make smaller, bigger, move it all around, up, down, left, right, put it way over here if you would like, in the center of the chart, doesn't matter. And then, of course, it's giving you information from the prior bar's high, the prior bar's low, the pivot range, which is the threshold. This is the threshold, the PRH, the PRL. That's the threshold where it needs to pull into it and then resume. All right. So that's the threshold. And then, of course, the close back to the mid. So that's important. Then the close to the prior close. All right. And then there's some other information down there. So if the market is going to continue to close in your favor, try to get it to close back above the prior bar's close. It's just that simple. I want to make trading simple for you. All right. And again, I want to say this to you. There's at least three indicators on this chart. And thank you, Gabriel. He's the one that actually was able to create this function because I just told him what I wanted in it. He's my developer. He took the training and absolutely just been a great assist to what it is that I got going on. So he made this for me. He made that. And I just thought that would be really thoughtful of him to have done that. Now, here's these three stripes here. He made these as well, and they fully customizable. You can move them wherever you want on the chart. You can make them smaller, bigger, whatever. You can put them to the left, right, center, whatever. Now, this arrow here, I want to say this to you because there was three indicators that you just saw on the other chart. This little arrow here, prior to Gabriel coming on board, I had to pay a developer $200 just to get the functionality, not what it's calculating. $200 just for this indicator to float beside the bar. I made all the other indicators aside from these stripes and that data thing that you just saw there, the distance. I didn't make that. I'm not that good at it. I'm actually not that good at coding at all, really. But I just try my hand at it. All right. So, but there's definitely several on this chart. Now, if I paid over $200 for one, and I'm willing to give away the whole suite for $200, I have you are definitely getting information. That's what I'm trying to provide to anyone who's interested. That's what I'm trying to give away information on the channel. I want to do something. It's experimental. I'm trying to help as many as I possibly can to take advantage of it. So if you're in the market for this, you don't need it. I want to say it. I said it in the last video. I'll say it now. You don't need them. But if you want them, it's fun. You can have them. They're going to give you indicators when you get the platform. So why not have something that's actually indicative of what's happening? That's all. And so there's two pressures here. I believe is at least 5 different pressures in the platform. Matter of fact, there's one associated with the majority. So if the bar's mid fall below that low, there's a pressure that'll flash to let you know that that's happening. So you don't have to always keep it on your mind to look for it. Now, there's a volume here. There's an arrow. There's like a couple of arrows that you can put beside the bar. There's 3 over here. And yes, you can fractal place them where you can have all of them, the hourly, the 1 minute, the 5 minute. You can put them all down here if you would like, or anywhere up and down the scale or over here. You can put them in the middle of the chart. You can make them bigger if you want. You can have them real big in the center of the chart if you want. But that's, of course, just real-time information. So everything to the right-hand side here, all right, these 3 things are calculating something different. So a lot of different timing things for your timing needs. So if you're trying to time the market, this is real time indications. These are it doesn't count for the bar closing. You don't have to wait until it closes. It can tell you the possibility of it wanting to continue in that direction. Again, it's just real time information. Loads of indicators. All right, so here's another chart with yet some more different indicators on top of this information here. I'm gonna show you single bar plot indicator. I'm gonna show you dual bar plot, triple bar. I'm gonna show you different indicators. This is the map. So this thing that you're seeing right here, this thing that you're seeing right here, is telling you will the bar close outside the zone. There's a good chance that it won't, and it didn't. Now, will the bar close? I'll just leave it here for a second, see if it closes. I do believe they'll sweep this low, but will it close outside the zone? That's a whole nother thing. I don't believe that it'll do it. Can it? I don't know. We'll see. And it's giving you a fair shot at both sides. It is, but there's a good chance it won't close outside the zone. And it's dynamic, so it will adjust to the market's activity and tell you, hey, based on this, this activity here, and what it's doing, there's a good chance that it won't close outside of that zone. Just as what I showed you with the daily. All right, so I don't have a bar timer on the chart. Do forgive me, but we'll just look at the signals and you'll just have to rewind the video and see if they close outside the zone. I do believe they'll sweep this low. Now, here's the signals on the chart. There's like three of them here. It may be a bit small, so I'll tell you what it looks like. There's an equal sign down here. Now remember, we got a trend back here. They had an equal sign up here. It kind of pulled up, pushed down, but then it wanted to clip the high. We're going to talk about that because there's an indicator that will help with that. And then, of course, there's the blue arrows, which is important. And as you can tell, once they broke the blue arrow bar, they came in with that momentum and then dropped. All right, so there's a blue arrow here. And again, they swept that high just really quickly, and then they didn't want to keep up. Now, these zones can get it going, or it can be where the market is going to flip. So you got to make sure you know how to read. All right, you got to read the chart. It came in up here, and then, of course, it flipped. It got under the zone, kind of lifted up, and then, bang, it took off to the downside. You came in here on the run, then it came in on this bottom. They went above it, and then, of course, they got back beneath it, and this map is showing up, too. This is another indicator. You had the map here. You had the map here. Came into this low, but remember, it came into that high. Okay, just want to make sure that you understand that. And then, of course, there's the decline to the downside. So, no, it didn't make that zone. I pretty much bet you that, but it is sweeping this low. All right, so that's the 930. Okay, that's the 930 there. All right, so really simple stuff. All right, again, we try to use information that's important. So that zone was there. They didn't close outside of it. They swept that low. So this will help you if you're trying to time it. You got to use the timing information that I just showed you on the prior chart. Rewind the video. You combined it with the map. This is the map indicator. There's a good chance that that is unlikely, just like on the daily. They got near the bottom of the map on the daily, and then they popped up. So it's going to kind of tell you what's important. That's all. What's important. There's a good chance they won't do this. Now, this is a 3-bar plot. I just showed you the 2-bar. Well, did I cover the single bar? I didn't cover the single bar yet. We're going to get to that. I got to get to that. But here's the 3-bar plot. So I know a lot of you like the gap stuff, so I kind of tried to put one in there, and then I gave you another 3-bar plot as well, and you can kind of just see how that works. All right, I'm not going to explain to you how all that works, but I am going to tell you how to know when the zone will pop up. I'm going to tell you, it's really simple. Been trading majority for a very long time. Before it was an ICT, I've been trading long before there was prop firms. I'm just that old people. All right, so you get the mid above the bars high. Guess what? You don't need the 3rd bar. I want to tell you that. And I do have a version of that gap thing that'll show gaps everywhere. So it'll put a zone everywhere that there's a gap. So if you wanted to see gaps everywhere, I got that too. So there should be a gap that'll show up before this bar finish. So you can already know that just by learning majority. All right, so you had the cycle up here on the high. They kind of went into the gap, and that level is associated with that gap. I just want to tell you that the level is connected to the gap because you want to cover the majority. They pulled up, they turned. All right, so then they went back up there to kind of pull back, and they couldn't make it happen. They ran back into that cycle. There's the cycle indicator, and then bang, it takes off to the downside. All right, so you had your cycle on the high. They didn't want to break it, and then they got down here and started cycling. All right, so I just want to go ahead and say that to you. Now, this is what they're doing. Let's go to, did I cover the single bar? Let me see if I covered the single bar indicator. Hold on. Let me find that chart. Let me see. I got a lot of charts here. I want to see if I covered it. Did I cover it? I'm looking for it. Give me a second. No, that's the daily. Do bear with me. There's a lot of charts. Okay, so here's the single bar plot. I knew I had it in here somewhere. I don't know if I covered this, but let's go over it real quick. So the pro, I know Dimitri said he liked the pro indicator. The pro indicator is single bar plot. No sooner the bar close, no sooner the bar color. This is a single bar plot as well, and it shows up on turns. I want to have you know that it shows up on turns and to get moves going. Single bar, no sooner close, go for the distance of the bar. Okay, now let's take a look at 930. I'm gonna just kind of zip through this. All right, so yeah, okay, so here we go. Pro on the high here, had a pro off the bottom, pro right here. They pulled up to the back of it, didn't want to break it, and then they took off to the downside here. Okay, there's a couple pros that came in here, took off to the downside. And then, of course, you got your, and again, there's several indicators on this chart. I paid over 200 bucks for one, and I want to just give you a lot of information, So these are single bar plots, all right? Single bar plot with the color and the pro. The other indicators are not, all right? But really important that you know that. Really important that you know that. Single bar plot with the pro. I know Dimitri liked the pro, and the climax bars. Yeah, that's important as well. So you're more than welcome to take a look at that information there. All right, so now I covered that. That's that daily. Remember, they pulled down to the back of that zone and they popped off of the low there. Now, this is the chart I wanted to go over, and I kind of touched on this in the first video. The video that you guys may have caught if you're new. That was here. I kind of talked about a little bit of what this one is. This is the manipulation one. All right, so the signal comes in with your zone, and you can put the zone up there with the historical map there. There's the manipulation for it, and so it will map out your trades. It'll tell you there's a good chance that they may not want to do this or that. Okay, so it gives it to you from both sides. It's fair, and so when it overshoot lows, and you just want to pay attention. That's all. And so once they go outside the zone, you're trying to see if they can, see if they can get you some information outside of that zone. And so you'll see they'll overshoot. You want to see if they can get you some information outside of there. I can't tell you all the rules of how to trade it, but I just want to let you know it's important. That's all. It's important. And so all of that cyclical activity, clipping, turns and then going back the other way, just want to have you know that that's important. That's all. And so you can just look into here and just kind of maybe find a way to interact with it. Find a way that you can see that you can possibly interact with it. I don't want to explain it to you because I'm not going to train you for 200 bucks. That's just crazy. So, but I do want to give you some information that's useful. So as I'm showing you these charts, I want you to just kind of piece it together, rewind the video, do whatever you can to see can you retain what it is that I'm showing you. All right. So last chart here, really important. 3 things. Now I didn't have this on the daily. That's the pro. So it'll give you, there's a red arrow there, kind of down. You had a green arrow here. It pulled down into it and then it popped again. You had a red arrow here. They pushed down a bit more. You had a green arrow here. They just didn't want to keep going. Oh yeah, I can see why. You had one here and it didn't want to go at all. Okay, so it came under that and then it went back up there for the test and then, it began to push down. You had another red arrow here. That's the breakout pro. So this is the pro I'm showing you. And again, if you don't have the indicator, all you have to do is download, hit the download link. And there's an arrow here. They pushed up even higher. Here's an arrow here. Let's see what we had up here. No. So no sooner this bar. Now here's the thing. No sooner this bar close. No sooner the bar close, that text will show up. It's a 2 and a question mark. All right. So I'm going to tell you what it is. All right. So put it together. Here's something that's important. Okay. It came in. And you can see what it's doing. It's doing what it did on the daily. Just want to have you know. And then you want to see if they can close outside of the zone. All right. So you can just kind of stare into that and rewind the video, do whatever you need to get that to work. All right. So that's my time with you. And again, I appreciate each and every every comment that you guys have left. I want to make sure that you do know that trading is very simple. It's not complicated. Let me just put this in front of you again. This is all that's happening on the chart. This is what's happening. It's really simple. Do not make this stuff complicated. I can assure you it's not. The risk side is complicated. So if you're trying to use a great deal of risk, you're going to have to time yourself into it in various different ways. 1 bar, because I know there's people that ask about 1 bar signals. If you're looking for 1 bar to give you what it is that you want, and I mean, you want to know if that 1 bar is going to work. I must say to you, You have to understand that the market is a fluid event. That's number one. Second of all, they're they're purposely leading you into a direction for a reason. So I'm gonna just say it that way. So will that one bar yield you what it is that you're looking for? There's no indicator from any vendor. I'm not a vendor. I'm just trying to give you information. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I really want you to have information. So I'm trying to give you what's free. Please use this stuff. There's no vendor at all, or even myself trying to create information for you that's going to give you a one bar signal that's guaranteed to work every time. It's not going to happen. So if you don't have the means to lose $200 potentially on a trade, you may want to avoid emailing me. Don't email me because I cannot provide you that kind of experience. So if you're looking for definitive entries where definitively you're going to know that once you take the trade it's going to work, I don't have that. I don't have that for you. I can't provide that for you. So don't waste your time. If you're not interested in an invoice, don't email me. So if you're not asking for the invoice, it's okay. Don't waste your time. I don't want you to waste your time. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Please take in all the information that's on the channel. It's free. It's free, people. Please take in all this information. However, if you are serious and you saw anything in this video that may serve useful in your trading, whatever your trading style is, I don't have a preference as to how anyone trade. You can trade however you want. Listen to anyone you want. But if you saw something that would help you, the suite is there for $200. Don't go spend thousands. You don't have to do that. Just avoid that process because you're going to have to pay the market. It's already expensive enough to trade. Don't waste more money. Okay, I just want to say that to you. The information that's on the channel is worth thousands of dollars, and I'm giving it away for free. So you don't need the indicators, but if you want them, you're welcome to it. All right, so just take a look at this information. Go ahead and get it to work. And again, I wish you guys all the best. This will be the last upload that I'm going to be up here for definitely a long time. All right, I want to say that to you. I'm not going to be back for a while. All right, so try to go ahead and retain the information that's on the channel. You can find your way. I got a live trade section if you want to go and look at the live trades. Just hit playlist here, go in here, and you can find. There's not a lot of videos I did because I think that's not how you learn to trade. Live trades in there. I've done a trade for 1,000 ticks. I've passed proper counts for 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, I passed proper counts. So I've already done that. So if you're new, you may not be aware of this, but you can go here and you'll watch me just trade the universal approach. That's all. That's all. That's all. I didn't trade any of the indicators and all of that stuff in the videos I did. If you are interested in the suite, ask for the invoice. It's just that simple. And I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.